Yo, what's good? It's your boy JG Tennis back with another video. So today I'm going to be talking about the World Cup or my World Cup review. Now let me start off. The title of this video will be called This is probably the greatest. There we go. The greatest World Cup that I have ever seen. I'm not talking about the final, but I'm talking about the tournament overall. This tournament had everything that you wanted out of a World Cup. I mean, it was crazy. Of course, you know, the World Cup was played all through the countries of Mexico, the United States, and Canada. So, what made this tournament stand out? This tournament, of course, the World Cup was going to have a lot of stars. Of course, Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, Kylian Mbappe, Vinny Jr., Erling Haaland, Lamine Yamal, and who else? Others. So of course, you know, the World Cup has always stood out. The cultures coming together, the countries. I mean, it's just unreal. Now, let me tell you this. Here were my top 5 favorite teams from the World Cup. So I'm going to get you this. These were the teams who I was going to be cheering for. So, of course, you know, Brazil was like my 5th one. You know, Brazil's pretty good. So I would have cheered for them as one of my teams. France, of course, France, I would cheer them on some occasions. Argentina, yes, I would cheer for Argentina. It's not me being a bandwagon. I cheer for Argentina in Copa America and I think the last World Cup. And then, of course, at number 2 is Japan. Of course, if y'all didn't know, I love. Of course, I love Japan. It's one of my most favorite countries. And then, of course, on top of that, the United States. So, this World Cup produced some epic highlights. Of course, you know how it started off. Of course, the first game was Mexico and South Africa and South Korea and Suzuka. But as you go on, you have some other matchups, including I watched the first USA game where USA beat Paraguay. Then, of course, you have the next game where I watched where Brazil and Morocco tied. And then one of the best games of the tournament that I saw. Germany, before that, Germany, of course, beat somebody 7-1. Crazy. And then you had the Netherlands and Japan play an absolute thriller. It was epic. I literally watched the game when I got back home from work. Or actually, it was on a Sunday. But yeah, it was absolutely crazy. One of the most surprising things was Cape Verde tied with Spain, who, of course, y'all know where Spain will go. And of course, during the years, you have some of these close games, blowouts, 4-2, win by twos. And then the World Cup got interesting. USA beat Australia 2-0. Everybody's playing good. Argentina, of course, playing good. And I even watched Japan like on a Sunday morning. Well, basically 12 a.m. So still like a Saturday basically. And I saw them beat Tunisia 4-0. And of course, all the teams blowing out people. And then you saw one of the best games of the tournament, Norway and Senegal. It was unreal. England and Ghana tied 0-0. So this tournament is good, especially during the group stages. The group stages were really good. Now, one disappointment I would say was France and Norway. Now, here's where I understand. I think that of course you don't want to get your best player hurt, especially when you're already in the playoff or the actual playoff of the World Cup. And I was hoping to see Kylian Mbappe versus Erling Haaland on the same field, but we may get that another time, hopefully soon. So of course, Cape Verde had ties and they got to their region. And everything was going the way we all wanted it to. Then came the round of 32s. You had every game the first 5 games were pretty good. Brazil and Japan played a thriller, and then of course Paraguay and Germany played penalties. Even Morocco and Netherlands. It was crazy. Norway beat Ivory Coast. France blew out Sweden. Mexico beat Ecuador. England beat Congo. Belgium and Senegal had a thriller. USA beat Bosnia. Spain blew out Austria. Portugal beat Croatia. Switzerland beat Algeria. So the round of course, Egypt beat Australia. Argentina beat Cape Verde, in which was at one point the game of the tournament. Until what happened. Colombia and Ghana, Morocco, Canada, France beat Paraguay. Norway and Brazil played a thriller. England and Mexico played a thriller as well. Spain and Portugal, of course, played a thriller. Belgium whipped up on the USA, and that was a pretty interesting thing right there, where, of course, one of USA's players got a red card, or 2 yellow cards, which should not have been a red card. Now, of course, some people were saying that he should not have played, but I was like, hey, he did. I think that he didn't, not think. Review should give you a chance they should go out and review claims so they could possibly overturn things. They do that in boxing. Because get this. It wasn't his fault that he stepped on his foot. The player caused him to. Even though, of course, Belgium was going to win anyway. So, yeah. Then you had the game of the tournament. Argentina came back and won against Egypt. It was crazy. It was one of the craziest comebacks that I've ever seen. And Switzerland beat Colombia in I would say one of the most boring, in my opinion, it was a boring match. Even though I was watching this match while I was watching Wimbledon. I was watching an epic battle between Djokovic and Auger Aliassime, and then after that match ended, I watched the penalties of Switzerland and Colombia. France and Morocco. France won, of course. Spain beat Belgium. England beat Norway in a thriller. And then, of course, Argentina beat Switzerland. So then, you get the semifinals. You have 4 countries who have all had really good World Cup glory. You had France. 2018 won the World Cup. 2022 came close. Spain won the World Cup in 2010. England hadn't won the World Cup in a while, but always came close. And then Argentina, defending champs. In the first semifinal, Spain's defense played unbelievable, and they were able to beat France 2-0, which put them in the final for the World Cup. Then another one great game, Argentina and England, and it was also another crazy game of the tournament. England basically parked the bus at the end of the game. They were winning 1-0 with something minutes left, and they allowed 2 goals. It was another Argentina miracle that put them in the final. The day before the final happened was the 3rd place playoff. Now, of course, some people would say that the 3rd place playoff would not count. But I enjoyed watching that. It was crazy. France and England played crazy. First, it was 4-0 England. You're like, okay, England's going to definitely win this. It's going to be a blowout. Then France scores 3 straight goals, and it's 4-3. Then it was somebody else. Or probably somebody else first. And it's 5-3, and then France scores, and then Bellingham puts it away. I think that no matter what people say about it, it was, in my opinion, one of the games of the tournament. And then the final, Spain versus Argentina. And no doubt, Spain was the best team the whole World Cup. Defensively, offensively, they were the team that was going to give everybody problems. And Spain won their first World Cup since 2010. Congratulations on them. So what were some of the stories of the World Cup? The USA. USA was playing some of their best soccer in a while. And of course, they couldn't really beat the Europeans at the end. Argentina had many thrilling games, especially 2 comebacks against Egypt and against England. Another big story, Cape Verde, surprising the heck out of everybody. That goalkeeper got his Instagram followers up. Another one was everybody enjoying it. Haaland was enjoying himself. Vinny Jr. was enjoying himself. The fans were incredible. The atmosphere was incredible. I loved watching the World Cup. I loved it. And in my opinion, this was the greatest World Cup that I have ever seen. The greatest. It was, literally. And now we go to what were my top 10 matches of the World Cup. At number 10, I had England versus France. England defeats France 6-4. At number 9, I had Japan versus Netherlands. Both of them tied 2-2. At number 8, I had Brazil versus Japan. It was heartbreaking. Brazil defeats Japan 2-1. Argentina versus England, number 7. Argentina defeats England 2-1. Number 6, I had Norway versus Senegal. Norway defeats Senegal 3-2. In the top 5, I had Norway versus Brazil. Norway won 2-1. At number 4, I had England versus Norway. England won 2-1 after trailing 1-0. Number 3, I had England versus Mexico. It was a crazy atmosphere. It was like going to an away game. But England came out on top and won 3-2. Especially the end of that first half was crazy. At number 2, Argentina versus Cape Verde. Argentina defeats Cape Verde 3-2. It was crazy. Cape Verde kept on scoring. They wouldn't go away. And it was unbelievable to see that. And then at number 1, of course, was Argentina versus Egypt. The best game of the tournament. Egypt was winning 2-0. Argentina scored 2 goals in under 15 minutes. And then they scored in extra time, and then, of course, they won. One of the craziest comebacks ever. But okay, let me go to World Cup awards. So let's see the awards. Let's go. So of course, Spain was the winner. Who won the World Cup Golden Boot? Mbappe will win his second as he scored the most goals in the World Cup. The Golden Ball winner was Rodri. Rodri won the Golden Cup. The World Cup Golden Glove was to Simone. The World Cup Young Player Award was Pau Cabarsi. The World Cup Fair Play Trophy was to the Netherlands. And in my opinion, this was the greatest World Cup that I have ever seen. It was the greatest. No doubt about that. I loved it. Every moment was pure cinema. Pure cinema. It's not because of the location. It was just because of all the stuff that just went crazy. The moments, the people, everybody. And it's good. The World Cup is over now. So what am I going to do? I come home, relax, and get ready for Spider-Man in 2 weeks. I just saw the Avengers Doomsday trailer. Oh man, that's crazy. I can't wait for it. So, can't wait for what's next. This is going to be my video for today. It's going to be posted on Tuesday. She had got a beard. Full caveman. Character arc for real. One of the greatest World Cups I've ever seen. Literally insane. I loved it. Can't wait for next. I'm all like y'all didn't know I'm a huge soccer fan, so I mean everybody watched it. People that didn't really watch soccer watched it. It was crazy. Well, I think I have some more videos that are gonna come out soon. I can't wait. I think I'm gonna feel some extra stuff on here. But other than that, It's been your boy JG Tennis, and see you in the next one, and peace out. Let's go, guys. Can you help me with a TikTok idea? I want to do one like the South Park intro, where they say, going down to South Park, gonna have myself a time, but it's of my college. Absolutely, that could be hilarious if done right. A South Park intro style TikTok for your college would go hard, especially if you match the goofy random vibe of campus life. Here's a concept template you could use. TikTok idea, going down to Methodist parody, opening shot. Use the instrumental intro sound and start with going down to Methodist, gonna have myself a time. And film yourself walking onto campus dramatically or something like that. Clips to match each lyric / beat. Cut quickly between funny, relatable campus scenes, friendly faces everywhere. Clip of friends dapping you up, random people saying hey, humble folks without temptation. Immediately cut to partying, chaos, dorm nonsense for irony. Going down to Methodist, drum shot, campus sign, mascot. Gonna leave my woes behind. Throw backpack, dramatically leaving class. Funny scene, ideas specific to college. Make it relatable by exaggerating. Sleeping through alarm, sprinting to class late, dining hall food review. Crazy roommate moment, gym clip, tennis practice, match clip, since you play. Library locked in during finals, random campus drama, party nightlife shot. Professor staring while everyone fails a test. Extra creative twists. Make your own parody lyrics instead of exact words. Example, going down to Methodist, gonna pray I make class on time. Friendly broke kids everywhere, ramen noodles every night. It will make it way more original and funnier. Editing styles tip. To match South Park vibe, use fast jump cuts, add slight zoom ins for funny moments, make everything kind of chaotic / random, maybe use cutout cartoon font captions, over exaggerate expressions like it's a meme. If you want, tell me your college name, some stereotypes, funny things about your campus, and I can help you write a full custom parody script lyrics for it. If I worded 5.5 hours and get paid $16 per hour, how much is that per day? If you worked 5.5 hours and earned $16 per hour, 5.5 times 16 is 88. You'll make $88 for that day before taxes and any deductions. Is tennis 1 hour, 5 days a week good? Yes, 1 hour a day, 5 days a week, 5 hours total is good for most recreational and competitive players. How good it is depends on your goals. Just staying active and improving. 5 hours / week is solid. High school varsity player, 5 hours week is decent, especially if you have the matches and fitness training too. College player. Many college players train closer to 10 to 20 plus hours per week. When you include practice, matches, conditioning, and gym work, trying to improve rapidly, you might benefit from adding fitness, serving practice, or match play on top of those 5 hours. A useful rule is that the consistency matters more than the marathon sessions. 5 1-hour sessions often produce better improvement than 1 or 2 long sessions. Since you've mentioned playing competitive matches before, I'd say 5 hours of actual tennis per week is enough to maintain and improve. But if you're aiming for a big jump in your level, adding 1 to 2 fitness sessions, extra serve practice, or 1 match play session can make a noticeable difference. What level are you playing at right now? College, club, varsity, USTA, or just recreation? Should I go to the gym in the mornings before my internship or afternoons after my internship? For most people with an internship, I recommend going in the morning before work if you can manage it. Why mornings can be better? You guarantee the workout gets done. You won't be mentally drained after work. It can give you more energy and focus during the internship. Your afternoons and evenings stay open for tennis, friends, or relaxing. Why afternoons can be better. You're usually stronger and more flexible later in the day. You may lift heavier and have better performance. You can sleep a little longer. Since we talked about playing tennis, a schedule like this could work well. Morning, gym, 45 to 60 minutes internship. Afternoon/evening, tennis practice or matches. That way your strength training doesn't interfere as much with your tennis sessions. A question: is your internship mostly desk/computer work, or are you on your feet a lot during the day? That would change my recommendation. How clutch was Zverev in the French final? If you're talking about the 2026 French Open final, then I'd say Zverev was very clutch, but not in a saved match points kind of way. He was clutch in how he responded to adversity. He won his first Grand Slam title by beating Flavio Cobolli 6-1, 4-6, 6-4, 6-7, 6-1 in 5 sets. After losing a tight fourth set tiebreaker and seeing the match go to distance, he completely reset mentally and dominated the fifth set 6-1. What makes it clutch? He was playing in his fourth Grand Slam final after losing the previous 3. The pressure of finally winning a major was enormous. After the disappointment of losing the fourth set tiebreaker, many players would tighten up in the fifth. Instead, he played his best tennis of the match in a deciding set and closed it out convincingly. What keeps it from being an all-time clutch performance? He didn't come back from 2 sets down. He didn't save championship points. He wasn't facing a player like Carlos Alcaraz or Jannik Sinner at their peak level in the final. For comparison, the 2025 French Open final is on another level of clutch. Alcaraz came back from 2 sets down against Sinner and saved 3 consecutive championship points before winning in a 5th set super tiebreak. That's one of the most clutch slam finals ever played. So on a scale of 1 to 10 for clutchness, Zverev 2026 French Open final about 8 to 10. 8 out of 10. Alcaraz 2025 French Open final about 10 out of 10 plus. Historically great. The biggest clutch moment for Zverev wasn't a single point. It was handling the pressure of finally being 1 set away from his first slam and then delivering in the 5th set. Best French Open matches of 2020s. If we're talking about quality, drama, stakes, and historical significance, these are my picks for the best French Open matches of the 2020s so far. Number 1, Carlos Alcaraz versus Jannik Sinner final, the greatest match of the decade at Roland Garros. Why? Alcaraz came back from 2 sets down, saved 3 consecutive championship points, over 5 hours of tennis, world number 1 versus world number 2, 5th set super tiebreak, could end up being remembered alongside the greatest slam finals ever. 2. Novak Djokovic versus Rafael Nadal, the night Nadal finally lost at Roland Garros after leading. Why? 4 hours of brutal clay court tennis. Djokovic became only the second man ever to beat Nadal twice in Paris. First, actually. Many consider it the highest level clay court match ever played. Rafael Nadal versus Novak Djokovic, a final disguised as a quarterfinal. Why? Nadal was battling injuries, Djokovic was defending champion, match ended after 1 a.m., some of the most dramatic momentum swings you'll ever see. At number 4, Diego Schwartzman versus Dominic Thiem, the forgotten masterpiece. Why? More than 5 hours, massive rallies, incredible physical battle. Schwartzman finally broke through to the semifinals. 5, Carlos Alcaraz versus Alexander Zverev. Alcaraz's first Roland Garros title. Why? 5 sets, huge pressure on both players. Momentum changed repeatedly, cemented Alcaraz as a threat on every surface. 6, Lorenzo Giustiniano versus Corentin Moutet. The marathon. Why? 6 hours, 5 minutes. 5th set ended 18-16. One of the longest matches in French Open history. Honorable mentions: Stefanos Tsitsipas versus Novak Djokovic, Rafael Nadal versus Felix Auger-Aliassime, Carlos Alcaraz versus Novak Djokovic. Great drama before Alcaraz cramped. Novak Djokovic versus Stefanos Tsitsipas. My top 5 ranking. Alcaraz versus Sinner 2025 Final 1. 2. Djokovic versus Nadal 2021 Semifinal. 3. Nadal versus Djokovic 2022 Quarterfinal. 4. Schwartzman versus Thiem 2020 Quarterfinal. 5. Alcaraz versus Zverev 2024 Final. That top 3 is especially ridiculous. Those matches felt like they could have been the defining match of an entire era. What could intergalactic planetary mean for athletic purpose or other? Intergalactic and planetary are space-related words, but in athletics, they can be used as metaphors to describe an athlete's greatness. Athletic meanings: planetary. The best on a planet Earth, world class, dominating everyone around them. Example, his tennis season was planetary, meaning he was one of the best players on Earth. Intergalactic, beyond world class, so good that ordinary comparisons don't work anymore. Legendary, almost superhuman. Example, that comeback was intergalactic, meaning it was unbelievably great. If you used it for your tennis story, given your senior season, 26-1, player of the year, number 1 in 5A, you could say, planetary season, you dominated your state and became one of the best players around. Intergalactic season, a season so remarkable it feels larger than life, with dramatic matches, rankings, awards, and a legacy that people remember. Cool nickname ideas: the Intergalactic Champion, Planetary Player of the Year. Intergalactic Athlete, the Planetary Protector, fits your Super Crab universe. Intergalactic Tennis Warrior, the Intergalactic Era of Giles. For your Year of Giles story, the intergalactic era could symbolize the point where your achievements went beyond local success and became legendary in your own personal mythology. Can you make this intern Oh, no, I don't need that. Oh yeah, this is the one. Comment meaning on Instagram. On Instagram, oh yeah, this is the one is a compliment that means this is the best one, you nailed it. This is the post/video I've been waiting for. This one is really good. It's commonly used when someone really likes a photo, reel, TikTok, outfit, edit, or accomplishment. For example, you post a tennis highlight reel, someone comments, oh yeah, this is the one. They think it's your best highlight. You post graduation pictures, this is the one. They love these photos. You post a funny TikTok, oh yeah, this is the one. They think it's your funniest video yet. Overall, it's a very positive comment and usually means the person thinks your post stands out from others. My cousin is getting me Chick-fil-A. I'm going to save it for dinner tomorrow. That's a good plan. If you be able to keep it refrigerated, Chick-fil-A keeps well overnight. If you put it in the refrigerator within about 2 hours of getting it, store it in its original container or an airtight container. For the best taste tomorrow, chicken sandwich, reheat the chicken separately or oven or air fry it. Fryer works best. Then reassemble the sandwich. If you use a microwave, it'll still be fine, but the breading won't be as crisp. Nuggets or strips. An air fryer or oven will help them stay crispy. Fries. They tend to lose their crispiness, but reheating them in an air fryer or even oven improves them. If you're working your internship tomorrow, having it saved for dinner is a nice way to have a meal ready after a long day. Enjoy. Top 10 Australian Open matches of the 2020s, no honorable mentions. Here's my ranking of the top 10 Australian Open matches of the 2020s based on match quality, drama, stakes, historical significance, and entertainment. 1. Rafael Nadal versus Daniil Medvedev 2022 final. Score 2-6, 6-7, 6-4, 6-4, 7-5. Nadal rallied from 2 sets down, won a record 21st major at the time, 5 hours, 24 minutes. One of the greatest Grand Slam finals ever played. 2. Novak Djokovic versus Dominic Thiem 2020 final. Score 6-4, 4-6, 2-6, 6-3, 6-4. Thiem pushed Djokovic to 5 sets. Momentum swung repeatedly. Elite shot making from both players. Andy Murray versus Thanasi Kokkinakis 2023 second round. Score 4-6, 6-7, 7-6, 6-3, 7-5. Finished at 4:05 a.m. Murray saved his tournament after trailing by 2 sets. Second longest Australian Open match ever. 4. Novak Djokovic versus Carlos Alcaraz 2025 quarterfinal. Score 4-set thriller. First Australian Open meeting between the two superstars. Featured elite serving, defense, and clutch play. Felt like a passing of the torch showdown. Daniil Medvedev versus Alexander Zverev 2024 semifinal. Score 5-set comeback. Medvedev rallied from 2 sets down, nearly 5 hours. Outstanding tactical battle and physical endurance. 6. Stefanos Tsitsipas versus Rafael Nadal 2021 quarterfinal. Score 3-6, 2-6, 7-6, 6-4, 7-5. Tsitsipas became only the second player to erase a 2-set deficit against Nadal at a major, a career-defining comeback. 7. Dominic Thiem versus Rafael Nadal 2020 quarterfinal. Score 7-6, 7-6, 4-6, 7-6. 3 tiebreak sets, 4 hours of breathtaking baseline tennis, one of the highest quality hardcourt matches of the decade. 8. Daniil Medvedev versus Felix Auger-Aliassime 2022 quarterfinal. Score 5 sets. Medvedev saved a match point. Huge comeback under pressure. Constant momentum swings. 9. Matteo Berrettini versus Gael Monfils 2022 quarterfinal. Score 5 sets. Monfils was close to a semifinal berth. Berrettini fought back with clutch serving and fearless hitting, one of the tournament's most emotional finishes. 10. Stan Wawrinka versus Daniil Medvedev 2020 fourth round. Score 6-2, 2-6, 4-6, 7-6, 6-2. Vintage Wawrinka, tremendous shot making, a classic 5-set upset. May 28, 2025, I was 197 pounds. Now July 8, 2026, I am now 158 pounds. That's a significant change from May 28th to 2025 to July 8, 2026. Starting weight 197 pounds, current weight 158 pounds, total weight loss 39 pounds. That's about 19.8% of your starting body weight, which is a major transformation. Over roughly 13 months, that averages to about 3 pounds per month, about 0.7 pounds per week. That's a gradual pace overall, even if there were periods where you lost weight faster or slower. Since you mentioned in previous conversations that you wanted to improve your fitness while balancing college, tennis, and your internship, dropping from 197 to 158 likely makes a noticeable difference in movement around the court, speed and agility, endurance during long matches, recovery between points. Losing nearly 40 pounds takes consistency over a long period. If you're feeling healthy and maintaining your strength for tennis, that's an accomplishment worth being proud of. Out of curiosity, do you have a goal weight in mind now, or are you mainly focused on staying strong and playing your best tennis? 165 was my goal, and I made it about a month ago. Now I had a goal to get to the 150s, and now I'm here and there. That's a great progression because you kept setting realistic milestones instead of trying to lose everything at once. Your journey looks something like this. May 28, 2025, 197 pounds. Goal 1, reach 165 pounds. Achieved about a month ago. Goal 2, reach the 150s, now around 158 pounds. You've gone from 197 to 158, a total loss of 39 pounds. Total loss 39 pounds. One thing that's impressive is that you didn't stop once you've hit your original goal. You reassessed, decided you wanted to get into the 150s, and stayed consistent enough to make it happen. Since you're also playing tennis, being in the 150s may help with quicker movement to the ball, better endurance during long matches, easier recovery during tournaments and practices. At this point, it might be worth shifting your focus from the number on the scale to performance. Ask yourself questions like, am I moving better on the court? Do I feel stronger and more energetic? Can I maintain this weight while still playing well? If the answer is yes, then you've likely found a healthy range for your sport. Congratulations on reaching another milestone. Losing nearly 40 pounds over the course of a little more than a year takes persistence, and you've earned the results through consistent effort. Can you review Auburn's 2025 season football? The 2015 Auburn Tigers were one of the biggest disappointments in college football that season. They entered the year ranked number 6 in the preseason AP poll and were viewed by many as a college football playoff contender, but they finished just 7-6, 2-6 in the SEC. They did end the year on a positive note with a 31-10 win over Memphis in the Birmingham Bowl. Overall grade C-. Final record overall 7-6, SEC 2-6. Bowl. Birmingham Bowl champions defeat Memphis 31-10. What went right? Running game. Peyton Barber emerged as one of the SEC's top running backs, rushing for over 1,000 yards and becoming the centerpiece of the offense. Bowl finish. Auburn closed the season with one of its best performances, dominating Memphis and Birmingham. Defense improved late. While inconsistent, the defense played better during the second half of the season than it had early on. What went wrong? Quarterback instability. Jeremy Johnson entered the season as a Heisman dark horse but struggled badly with turnovers and consistency. Gus Malzahn eventually turned back to Sean White, and Auburn never found offensive rhythm. Offense underperformed. Auburn averaged 27.5 points per game, far below expectations for a Malzahn offense. SEC struggles. Auburn went just 2-6 in conference play, losing to LSU, Mississippi State, Arkansas, Ole Miss, Georgia, and Alabama. Best win. Memphis, 31-10 Birmingham Bowl. Auburn looked like the team fans expected all season. The running game controlled the matchup. Worst loss. LSU 45-21. Leonard Fournette rushed for 228 yards and 3 touchdowns, exposing Auburn's defensive issues. It was the game that convinced many fans the Tigers weren't a playoff caliber team. Most exciting game. 30-27 win at Kentucky, a close road win that came down to the final minutes. One of Auburn's few dramatic SEC victories that season. Season MVP. Peyton Barber, RB, running back, over 1,000 rushing yards, consistently carried the offense despite the passing game struggles. Biggest disappointment. Jeremy Johnson. He entered 2015 with enormous expectations after backing up Nick Marshall. Instead, turnovers and inconsistent play led to a mid-season quarterback change. Season summary. The 2015 Tigers were a reminder of how quickly expectations can change in the SEC. Auburn started the year with college football playoff hopes, but never found stability at quarterback, and the offense failed to resemble the explosive units Gus Malzahn had become known for. A strong bowl victory over Memphis provided a positive ending, but it couldn't erase a season that fell well short of preseason expectations. Season rating, 6 out of 10. They weren't a bad football team, they were a disappointing one. Considering the preseason hype and talent on the roster, finishing 7-6 made 2015 one of the most frustrating Auburn seasons of the decade. Top 10 Wimbledon matches of the 2020s, no honorable mentions. Here's my ranking of the top 10 Wimbledon matches of the 2020s through the 2026 championships, based on drama, quality of play, stakes, and historical significance. 1. Carlos Alcaraz versus Novak Djokovic 2023 final. Score 1-6, 7-6, 6-1, 3-6, 6-4. Ended Djokovic's 34-match Wimbledon winning streak. Nearly 5 hours of breathtaking tennis. Alcaraz announced himself as the new king of grass. Already considered one of the greatest Wimbledon finals ever. 2. Jannik Sinner versus Alexander Zverev 2026 final. Score 6-7, 7-6, 6-3, 6-4. A dramatic high-level final between the world's top 2 players. Momentum swung after a tense opening set tiebreak. Sinner overcame adversity and defended his Wimbledon title for his 5th Grand Slam. 3. Novak Djokovic versus Jannik Sinner 2022 quarterfinal. Score 5 sets. Djokovic rallied from 2 sets down, one of the defining comeback wins of his career. Sinner came within a set of eliminating the defending champion. 4. Novak Djokovic versus Jannik Sinner 2023 semifinal. Even though I put something else for it. Scored straight sets. Although the scoreline was 3-0, the quality was exceptional. Long rallies, incredible serving, and razor-thin margins. One of the highest level straight set matches on grass. 5. Carlos Alcaraz versus Jannik Sinner 2022 fourth round. Score 4-6. The first Wimbledon Classic between the future stars of men's tennis showed the rivalry that would define the next era. 6. Novak Djokovic versus Hubert Hurkacz 2023 fourth round. Score 7-6, 7-6, 5-7, 6-4. 2 tiebreaks. Hurkacz's huge serve constantly threatened Djokovic. Excellent shot making throughout. 7. Nick Kyrgios versus Stefanos Tsitsipas 2022 third round. Score 4-6. One of the most chaotic Wimbledon matches ever. Incredible tennis mixed with controversy, arguments, and trick shots. A match that everyone was talking about. 8. Donna Vekic versus Jasmine Paolini 2024 semifinal, even though I had something else for it. Score 2-6, 6-4, 7-6, 10-8. Longest women's Wimbledon semifinal in history. Emotional finish with a dramatic deciding set tiebreak. One of the best women's matches of the decade. 9. Novak Djokovic versus Cameron Norrie 2022 semifinal. Score 4-6. Norrie took the opening set and had center court behind him. Djokovic steadily raised his level to reach another Wimbledon final. Carlos Alcaraz versus Novak Djokovic 2024 final. Score 6-2, 6-2, 7-6. Not as dramatic as their 2026 Classic, but the quality from Alcaraz was extraordinary. He defended his Wimbledon title by defeating one of the greatest grass court players ever. My top 5. 1. Alcaraz versus Djokovic 2023 final. 2. Sinner versus Zverev 2026 final. 3. Djokovic versus Sinner 2022 quarterfinal. 4. Djokovic versus Sinner 2023 semifinal. 5. Alcaraz versus Sinner 2022 fourth round. The 2023 Wimbledon final remains the clear number 1 for the decade so far. It combined elite shot making, 5-set drama, a historic upset, and the symbolic passing of the torch from Djokovic to Alcaraz. Yeah, so I'm adding this video with a video I already filmed.